Hello, good day. This is Storage Hamster, and I am on my Blade Dancer Andralid X10. Now, this video is going to be a walkthrough, or just kind of a quick tour of Ivory Catacomb, or Ivory Tower Catacomb 2. Now, this is pretty new. Update just came out, and everyone's trying to level up and whatnot. This is going to try to help you prepare for the Ivory 2. Dungeon and what to expect for the most part. Now, initially, when you get in here, the first room is going to be the Swamp Medusas here, level 140. They are a normal mob, no cores, nothing, just evil blood, good to go. If you want to kind of have a somewhat decent AFK place, this would be the place to go. They're not as hard hitting. They don't take, they take a good amount of damage. And, well, they're easier to kill than any other mob in here at the end of the day. Now, this place here has 3 cores. We have the Vulture, Gargoo, and Morpheus cores. Now, these 3 mobs are kind of the higher level part of the dungeon. Now, Vulture is going to be up here, the topmost room. That's where you're going to farm those cores. Then the other one, Gargoo, is going to be here. So from the circle room on my screen, the rightmost room, and a little bit of this square one here, that's where you can find Gargoo cores. And then after that, the last one, right, is going to be right here in this half of the square, and then this big square over here. That's where you're going to find the monster cores. And all of those mobs are evil of blood, so you can farm your Proof of Blood and Red Star Stones. Now let's go over a quick comparison regarding the mobs here and what you may be used to in the previous dungeons. Now the mobs I'm going to compare these to are the Rorkas. Level 128 mobs from Ivory Tower, from Kruma Swamp, or Kruma Tower 2, I think. Okay? This is the new patch, everyone's still trying to get their way out of there, but you all should still be familiar with that. Now, the comparison weapon here is a plus 22 level 30 dual swords of revolution. Now, the attribute versus elite is maxed out to 112%. And my P attack is almost 65k. Now, the damage I was doing to Rorkas was about 33,000, or yeah, 32 to 33,000 damage on my first hit. No buffs, nothing. Okay, that is the first ever hit that walk up to a mob like so, and boom, whack it in the face. 32 to 33k off the bat. Now, the Swamp Medusas, they are about, 12 levels higher than those Rorkas, and we'll see the damage. So, first hit here is about 28.5k, right? I'll do again, about 28, 29k. So it varies. My hits will vary. Again, 29.3 right there. And 28.5-ish minimum right there on that last one. Again, this is about a 5,000, almost 6,000 damage gap between the Rorkas and the level 140 Medusas. So 12 levels, that much damage difference. That's a lot. That's a shit ton. Like, over the span of 12 levels. Now moving on to the next room. This whole circle room here is all Medusas also. Like level 140 Medusas. So you have a good place to farm AFK as soon as you step into this dungeon. The only problem is those mobs are not evil of blood, so they will not drop you the Red Star Stones or Proof of Bloods. Next mobs are the Cave Gargoyles, the I think second lowest level mob in this dungeon, and they are level 150. So let's take a couple whacks, and see what our damage gives us. Now, crits don't count here. We'll just go off base. So that doesn't count either. Darn. Alright, so they're 25.2 thousand damage on my screen. There's another 25.7 thousand damage. And there's another mid 25, low 25k. Alright, there's a 26 right there. So that's kind of the low and highs. 25 to 26k damage. And you do notice that all we did was jump 4 levels from 28,000 to 25,000. That's a lot of just damage difference between so much, just a few levels. Now these cave gargoyles, you can farm them if you want. They do not drop proof of bloods or anything like that. So I highly suggest not doing them. If I were you, take your team, go to these top 3 rooms and also the rightmost rooms. They're going to give you the evil bloods and what you want for your clan stuff. Now these are the staccato soldiers. This is, I think, what drops the core. I've not farmed it, the core, to be honest. I've just been leveling. So initial damage is level 150 mobs. Same as the gargoyles, you're going to do the same amount of damage. So about 25 to 26,000 on the weapon I have, okay? I'll go over the comparison later if you do have a PvP weapon. But this is on a level plus 22 maxed out, non-limit broken yet, PvE versus elite weapon. So there we go, about 25,000, the staccato soldiers. Up here in the topmost room. This is right here is also where the boss spawns. Okay. The where is it? Not Gargoo. It's whatever. And here we have, moving on to the higher echelon of mobs in this dungeon, it's going to be staccato troopers, level 156. Now, take a note, I have BD buffs on right now. Let's wait till they expire. I'm going to pull like a little bit. So if you're going to kind of actively farm these rooms, it's the best bet you can, the best that you can do is split the room into 4. It could be, like this, right? It could be straight down the middle and then to the sides, or you can do right like this. Split it like that and then straight through. That will allow you to get about 4 spawns of mobs, pull them, and then kill them. Just kind of do a clockwise or counterclockwise rotation to get XP. That's what I do in the level 162 room. Now here we go. Hit it a couple times and see where our normal base damage takes us. So right there, 24.2k base. There is a 24.9. There is a 25k base right there. And there's a 24.8. So our damage is dropping, but the difference between a 240 mob and 250, that kind of 3,000 drop is not the same here as versus, 150 and 156. Your damage kind of is roughly the same. 24 to 25,000 damage. There's a 23.9 right there. So your damage does kind of go down a little bit, but, thankfully not as much difference from the 150s. Though it's still a metric shit ton versus the 128s or 140s in this dungeon. Now next up, we're going to go into the gargoyle room. Now this is a good place to farm if you're active. As you can see here, I can pull about 8 to 10 mobs, and you can split the room again into 4 pieces. So this fourth of the room here, I'm getting all these gargoyles. Boom, good to go. Then after that, when I kill them, I'm going to go over here to this side and pull all of these gargoyles. They do run after you for quite a while. And as you can see, boom, I've got a nice, decent chunk of gargoyles again. And when you're done with that pull, just move on in a clockwise or counterclockwise fashion, pulling as many gargoyles as you can for your active time. Okay, so you see I have a really nice handful of gargoyles here. Now they're level 156 mobs, so as you can see, boom, the damage is about 23 to 20 to high 24s. Right there, right? So pretty much the same as the other 156 staccatos that we just saw in the previous room. And these mobs will drop the cores, the Garu cores. So they're a pretty good farm in and of itself. Okay. And boom, as you can see, for this weapon, I mean, they drop pretty fast, but not as fast as I'd like it. Now moving on to the last mob in this dungeon. Because basically they branch out they leak out into this room a little bit. Half of this room is going to be gargoyles. Then after that, boom, here we go, the enhanced Perums. These guys are level 162, freaking almost 610,000 HP, and they have a shitload of defense to back it up. Now, this room here is going to be this big square room next to the last one. So let's go over the damage that we do to these Perums, right? Without combos, without nothing right now, I have no buffs. And boom, we're doing 23.6k damage on that first one. There's a 23.2. If you see any 22Ks, go ahead and call that out. Boom, 23.8. There's a 23.9. 23.1. So our damage tanked quite a bit compared to the level 140 mobs. 22 level gap. Boom. So mid 23Ks. Okay, for the most part. I've not seen any damage here. Top 24k on the 162s. Now, highly suggested gear that you walk in here with is either really, really highly enhanced PvP gear. So at the minimum here, I would say about plus 16 and higher. Plus 14 and higher is really good too, as long as you have a good set effect like this one right here. 15 equals a couple percentages. But plus 16 and higher would be ideal because that takes you into the next dungeon too. But 14, 13 is good. Preferred you get that nice 15 buff for the 1.5%. Either or. And I highly suggest if you are solo playing, right, and you don't want to use pots or you just don't want to flat out die, roll your HP drain. As you can see here, I have HP drain. I have another HP drain. I have, oh, there's another one. Let's see. Oh, another HP drain and regen, which doesn't really do anything. And oh, there's another HP drain. And last but not least, what do you know? There is HP drain on my last ring. That means my helmet and all accessories have HP drain. How about weapon? Oh, there's one right there. HP drain on the weapon also. So here I am, basically hybrid stats, PvP / farming stats on my PvP armor. I am working towards a Blue Wolf set. Now, going off my stats, I have damn near 60,000 P defense, and I'm going to show you what it's like to pull these guys if you're actively pulling. Now, I usually pull a fourth of the room at a time, so it's about 8 to 10 of these enhanced perms. Okay, this is without soul shots, no buffs, whatever, and boom, look at that. They're doing about 1.5 to 2,100 damage to my body, and it really hurts. It really does. Because I know that in the next dungeon, these level 162s are going to be one of the lowest levels in there, and they're going to be hitting hard. So expect to take about 3,000 to 4,000 damage from the Ivory Tower 3 mobs, which I'll cover as soon as I hit 160, 165 to get in there, to put my foot in the door and say, oh my gosh, please hit me as hard as you can. Boom. But other than that, I highly suggest max HP drain. If you do not have that, then go ahead and make friends, get buddies with healers that are around at least 450, 500,000 500,000 CP and higher, because you're going to need that healer carry in these dungeons if you plan on AFKing on the higher level mobs. Or again, I've suggested it many times in World add-in 04 that go ahead and invest in that versus elite armor. This stuff right here, this says minus 5% damage from elite monsters. That stuff is gold. That stuff is money, and it's worth grabbing if you are free to play, if you haven't already done so. Other than that, you are free to enchant or enhance your PvP armor. You're free to do, the whole elixir shebang and the mount. But if you do not have this kind of CP, this kind of P defense, and this kind of HP drain, you're going to have a very, very hard time. Also, if you don't have a healer. Now, this set here is working towards Ivory Tower 3. Now, difference right now, it's not much. Like, it's level 1 plus 11 elite stuff, right? Right now, I'm taking between 1.5 to 2,000 damage from these enhanced perms. Now, if I put on this whole set of level 1 plus 10 or 11 elite gear, so equip it, equip, and equip. As you can see, boom, my P defense dropped to 40,000. That's horrible, right? It's like a 20,000 P defense gap. But look at how much these enhanced perms are doing, right? The damage difference is barely noticeable. It's about 250 to 300 damage from the perms, and that's a 20,000 P defense gap. That is a lot of damage mitigation. Okay, so Blue Wolf is nothing to scoff at. Your elite armor is nothing to scoff at, because this dungeons is what's going to make you the money, the buku bucks, making it rain for the most part. These guys are starting to drop mid 300 Adina, which sucks compared to, hey, how much they scale, how much more defense they do, how much more damage they do, how much higher gear you need to take them on, to take them head on. But, that PvE set is going to help you for the most part. As you can see, I'm still kind of fighting back, like draining back my HP, and it's keeping me alive. See the damage? It's barely went up. barreling it down, and that's a 20k P defense gap. So the 5% really do matter, like in the long run. But if you've already, again, if you're a pay to win sort of player, or you've already got your PvP armor, do pretty good pluses. I suggest kind of sticking with that until you find yourself getting face rolled in the next dungeon, which I'll cover later on. Now, another thing I mentioned earlier too, before I end this video, is this weapon here. Now, you may be like, hey, but there's no one in my server who has this. I don't have an elite weapon. I don't know what to compare it to. This 20.9k damage weapon, plus 22, level 30 SR, right? With this attribute alone, the 112%, this weapon here is comparable to this guy's weapon, Davian. So we did a comparison test on mobs, and he said I was hitting harder than him, than his PvP weapon, with my versus elite weapon. Now, his weapon is Limit Broken level 40, plus 28, 45,000 weapon damage. So, yeah, so if you work on your elite weapon, most likely you will kind of be up there in damage, and it'll help you out a lot in the long run. But in comparison, my weapon would be hitting the same, if not higher, than this weapon right here, this PvP weapon. So other than that, I mean, that's a giant boost because the attribute alone is pretty freaking worth it. Hunt level 10 took me like 3 weeks to get it up, farming mobs and killing elites all day, whatnot, and stuff like that. And I also got a good portion of Adina from farming these dungeons too. And this is after I think I've spent over 10 million just this week alone on soul shots and all this other crap, like resetting quests, a crap ton of Adina on runes also, since this new rune page. So yeah, if you're FTP or whatever, don't really want to spend too much, I would highly suggest focusing on a PvE weapon and make some money until the next patch. Because don't focus on those PvP weapons until the red rares come out, because at that point you can roll both at the same time instead of just PvP weapons for now. Other than that, that is a walkthrough or a guide on Ivory Tower Catacomb 2 and the mobs that you're going to face and how much defense they have and whatnot. So this is North America, add-in 04 server. Again, the patch just hit. A lot of people are still leveling up. I think, like right now, 151, and then front page 140. So a pretty sizable gap between, the top 5, top 10 levelers and everyone else. And when these guys get into Ivory 2, they are in for a shit show of surprises, because it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be fun. Good luck. And hopefully you enjoyed the vid. Hopefully it helped you out. A little bit entertaining, a little bit informative. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on the YouTube channel or comments or in game if you are also on the same server. Take care and have a wonderful day.